ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। The reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 15, verse number 1. So in the previous chapter we studied how Sri Krishna, he explained the process of Gyan Marg, how one realizes Brahman. So first he described the process of meditation, pranayam, lifting the sound Omkar from Mooladhara up to heart, then up to Sahasrar. Then he talked about Purak Kumbhakarechak, also meditating on the form of Bhagavan, and finally on Brahman. So Now in this chapter he is going to describe about the various yogic siddhis which may come to a person who engages in meditation. So you hear many times of siddhi and riddhi. So they will be described here. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Sri Krishna said, Jitendriyasya yuktasya jitasvasasya yogina mai dharyatas cheta uptishtanti siddhayaha. So he said that a person who has control over his senses and who has a stable mind, who has conquered his breath by practice of pranayam, and who is meditating on him, then various yogic perfections manifest to such a person. So, cheta uptishtanti siddhaya. So those siddhis he will describe in this chapter. Sri Vishnu Chakravarti comments, Animadya siddhayo ashtau das gaunas tatha paraha dharanotha panchadashe yoga vignatayo udita. So in this chapter number 15 of 11th canto, there will be description of the 8 siddhis. Many times you may hear this word Ashta Siddhi Navnidhi. So 8 siddhis are there and 9 treasuries which Kubera is in charge. So these are Ashta Siddhis which will be described here. So there are 8 which are the primary ones and 10 are secondary ones, and then there are some other which will also be mentioned here. So these siddhis, they become manifest as a side effect of meditation. Means the yogi is not really meditating to attain these siddhis, because as we saw that his purpose was moksha, mumukshu he was described, but still they come here, and they will also be described here as an obstacle to yoga. Means if they become manifest and one becomes attracted to them, then this will also cause an obstacle to his path. But he wants to attain the moksha, he will not attain that. Evam yogabhyasinah siddhayo api avirbhavanti. So in this way a person who is practicing yoga, the siddhis also become manifest. In Yoga Sutra also there are 4 chapters, and the 3rd chapter is describing the various types of perfections, because depending on the object of meditation, various types of perfections come. Tasu api nispriho bhavediti gyapetamaha. So why is he describing that one should not have attraction to them, one should not develop desire to relish those siddhis, because that will stop one's progress. Jitendriyasya iti yuktasya sthirchittasya. So the word yukta here means one who has a stable mind. The word yukta literally means one who is united, use dhatu. But here in this context it refers to chittavritti nirodha, yoga chittavritti nirodha. So therefore he says one who has a sthir chitta is called yukta. Uddhava uvacha. So after hearing this, Uddhava asked a question. Kaya dharanaya kasvit katham sit siddhirachyuta kativa siddhayo bruhi yoginam siddhido bhavan. So he said that, O Achyuta, please explain to me what kind of meditation leads to what kind of siddhi, and what are the various types of the siddhis. So as if you read Yoga Sutra also, there are various types of objects which are described there where you can meditate upon. So here also he will describe them, and different types of meditation leads to different types of perfections. So therefore he is asking which meditation gives which type of perfection, and what are those perfections or various types. Kati va siddhyo bru, how many perfections are there? Please describe to me. Because you are the yoginam siddhido bhavan. You are actually the giver of these siddhis or perfections to the yogis. So Krishna is also called Yogeshwara. Gita says Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. So he is the master of yoga, and he is the giver of all these siddhis. He has all of them, as we will read. So therefore ultimately they come from him. But as we will read, there are two types. There are spiritual siddhis and there are material siddhis. So depending on the meditation. So if one is meditating on Krishna, as this will be described, then this siddhis will be manifestation of his Antaranga Shakti. And the other yogis who may be meditating just on some material things, they also attain siddhi. They also are known by the same name, but they are not exactly the same. They are temporary and they don't have same amount of power and perfection as one who has these siddhis which are coming because of meditation on Bhagavan. And when devotees go to the spiritual world, then their devotees also have naturally siddhis. Just like you go to certain countries, not in India, but there you have certain facility, like you have free medical facilities. So just by being there, you get it. So if you go to Vaikuntha, naturally you have 4 hands without doing anything. You also get a club, 1 lotus also. So like that you also get siddhi. In Vedanta Sutra also it is described Jagad Vyapar Varjam, that the devotees, they have perfections or powers just like Bhagavan, except that they cannot create universes, Jagat Vyapara, or taking care of the material world. This is siddhi they do not have. That only Bhagavan has. Just like we read in the previous chapter that Bhagavan has 4 hands, devotees also have 4 hands, but Bhagavan has 2 things which are distinguishing him, Srivatsa and the Sri, mark of Sri. So they are found only in humans. Also Kaustuba, gem. So now Bhagavan he replies to this. Siddhayo astadasha prokta dharana yoga paragaihi tasam astau mat pradhana dashaiva gun hetavaha. Sri Krishna said that there are 18 types of siddhis or perfections which have been spoken by those who are expert in yoga by the process of meditation. Out of these 18, 8 are rooted in me. Tasam astau mat pradhana. So they are primarily coming from Krishna. So that's why if you see Yoga Sutra, there are many siddhis described there. In Tantra also, various types of siddhis are described. But these things he says they are mat pradhana, means primarily they come from him. And dasaiva gun hetava. And the remaining 10 which are secondary, they are coming from the gunaja prakriti. So this is interesting that when we are at this gross level, there are certain principles which work This is what science is trying to study primarily. All the rules which they have discovered, various laws, principles, laws of motion, laws of thermodynamics. So these are manifest at the gross Prakriti level. But there are also various rules which exist. So by using these rules, you can also say that this is some kind of perfection. If I drop something, it falls down. It's also perfection. I'm not doing anything. If I want to transport some weight from roof to ground, I don't have to do anything, just throw it. It's a siddhi. But there can be a siddhi that you can also take it up without much effort. That is another type of siddhi. So that is not manifest at the gross level. But at the subtle level, there are different rules or different principles. As the matter becomes subtle, and science has also discovered it, that in the quantum field, the rules which are at the classical physics level, they don't work. How the electrons work, they don't work like some gross thing moving, or how they are even manifest, photons, etc. So these siddhis are also like that. People, those who follow science, they will say, well, these are just talks. But at least they know that they are even in their own science, they have two separate fields, classical physics and quantum. And things work differently there. So it is something similar, that at the gross level there is one way, and then at the subtle level there is another way, and this can be experienced by concentration of the mind. So mind has a lot of power in it, that simply by focusing on it, things change. Like paranormal experiences people have, or people are bending spoon with their mind, focusing their mind. I want to see, Malti never demonstrated this to me. So these are something which ordinary laws of physics cannot explain. But it does exist. So this is what dharana is. So dhyan, dharana, dhyan, then samadhi. So various types of siddhis they manifest. So svit prashne vitarkeva. On the second verse there is no comment. There is not much comment on this slokas anyway. So it says dharanascha ashtadasa iti anusanga. So it says that by performing dharana, these things come as a side effect. Anusanga means that this is not the goal of the yogi, but they happen as concomitant effect of meditation. Mat pradhana ahameva pradhanam mukhya svabhavata ashrayo yasam ta. So when he says that 8 are mat pradhana, that I am prominent in them, means that they are primarily rooted in me, they are in my nature. This is Bhagavan naturally has them, just his swarupa. He doesn't have to do anything for them. So mai taha purna eva. So they exist in him in fullness. So just like Bhagavan has Aishwarya, he is called Bhagavan because he has 6 types of characteristics. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasya jnana vairagyasya pishunnam bhagitingana. So these 6 things exist in him, that's why he is called Bhagavan. That is one definition of the word Bhagavan. There are other definitions. So one who knows creation, dissolution, birth, death, etc., that is also Bhagavan. So, but there are other people who also have Gyan, Vairagya, but their Gyan, their Vairagya, their Aishwarya is limited. So Bhagavan has it is Paripurna. And this is spiritual. Others may have material, means it is temporary. Not only limited but also temporary, means it's just a effect of matter. So therefore he says that I am the prime shelter of these. And they exist in me in completeness. Mahita purna eva. Mat swarup shakti uttatvad. Amaikya. So they are manifest from his swarup shakti. And therefore they are not coming from Maya. So the yogis may also have such siddhis, and they may be just by the power of Maya, by the gunas of Prakriti, not Swarup Shakti. Anyatra sadhanvashat kinchin nyuna mayikya eva prayo bhavanti. So therefore he writes that in other people, means here in the material world, the devotees who are associate of Bhagavan, they also have, and that is also by Swarup Shakti only, because there is no Maya there. But here in the material world, if some people are having, then he says generally they are Mayiki, they are coming from the Maya. Unless these siddhis may also manifest in some devotees. Like we also hear stories of some devotees in Bhaktamal, that they also manifested some powers. So that is not Mayik, because they are devotees and they have grace of Bhagavan. So therefore he says that in other people, these are Nyuna, they are not Purna, they are not complete or full as they manifest in Bhagavan. They are lesser in power and they are Mayiki, they are material. Prayo bhavanti iti bhava. Anya urmi rahityadyo dasa gun hetava satvadi gun hetukaya. And the other 10 which he is going to describe here, that one becomes free from the urmi, means this hunger, thirst, etc. So he says those are all material and they are manifest from the gunas of Prakriti, sattva, rajas, tamas, primarily sattva. So now he describes, or rather he lists them. Anima, Mahima, Murter, Laghima, Praptirindriyaihi, Prakamyam, Shrutadrishteshu, Shakti Preranam Ishita, Gunesva Sango Vashita, Yat Kamas Tad Avashyati, Etame Siddhaya Somya, Ashtau Atpattika Mataha. So he says that, O Uddhava, following are my natural 8 siddhis. Atpattiki means by their very swabhava. So number 1 is Anima. So Anima means becoming small, becoming Anu. So Anu is described that which cannot be further divided, means smallest particle possible. And Mahima means becoming big, all pervading. Murte, so these are related with the Murti, means with the body. And Laghima means becoming light. And sometimes a 4th one is also added, which is not listed here, it's called Garima. So Garima means becoming heavy. So like Angad, he put his foot down in front of Ravan, and he says, anyone can lift my foot. So nobody could lift because he manifested Garima, made it heavy. So even the big powerful people could not shake him. So 4th one here is Prapti. Prapti Indriyai. So Prapti, as the word says, means to attain something with the senses. Not physically, but through the sense. So somebody is eating rasgulla. So you don't have to eat just by yogic power, you can also have the taste. You don't have to get it from the shop or anything. So that is prapti. Then prakamyam sruta drishteshu. So prakamya means that things which you have shruta, you have heard, you never saw them, and drisht, you saw something in the past, not seeing now, you can also experience those things. So they may not be existing now, they are not available to you, but you can have an experience of that. And Shakti Preranam Ishita. And then there is a Ishita, which means that you can infuse Shakti into others. So there is also this from after the first three, everybody describes first three in the same way. But the description of Prapti, Prakamya, Ishita, Vasita, Kamvasayita, this is described differently here in Bhāgavatam, differently in the yogas. They are also different, described in Sankhya Karika, if you remember. Vachaspati Misra described them in his commentary. So there the description is little different. Jiva Goswami cites that. Then Gunesu Asango Vasita. So Vasita is that you can have experience of the sense object, but you don't become attached to them. So they don't influence you. And then the last or the eighth one is Yat Kamastad Avasyati. So you can obtain anything up to its highest limit. So these are the 8 siddhis, if anybody has any interest in them. You can try. So tasu ashtashu madhye anima mahima laghima chaiti tisra siddhayo murtar dehasya. So out of 8 siddhis, the 3, anima, mahima and laghima, they are related to the body. Why they are related to body? Because it is the body which becomes small, big, light, heavy. Their senses are not becoming light or heavy. It is the body, physical body. So therefore they are related with body. Indriyaihi swaindriyai sarvendriya pravishtair abhisht sarvishya praptiriti praptir nam siddhi. And then the prapti siddhi is related to the indriya, to the senses. So this is that you can enter into other senses, and what they are experiencing you can also experience. So that's why it says that sarvindriya pravishtair abhisht sarva vishya prapti, that you can enter into the senses of others and attain your desirable object, experience that. Praptir nam siddhi. Then shruteshu darshan yogyeshu drishteshu darshan yogyeshu api sarvasu darshan ayogyeshu sarvashu bhui vivaradi pihiteshu api bhoga darshan samarthyam prakamyam nam siddhi. So the 5th one is called prakamya. So prakamya, he says that this is a siddhi, that objects which you have only heard, but they are not visible to you or you cannot see them. In general, it may be talk about something in heaven, kalptaru, right? People on earth also talk about kalptaru, although they are in heaven. So why they talk? That you can have experience of them through yogic power. So he says darshan ayogya, otherwise they are not object of our sight. We cannot see them. And drishtasu means which you have seen, but they may not be available now. somebody existed, then he died. You saw him when he was alive, but now he's no more. So you can also see him somewhere. Darsana Yogyasu. Sarvasu Bhovivaradi Petashu api. Even if it is covered, if something is hidden inside the ground, some wealth, so they can figure out where is the oil. They're testing oil, right? Drilling. So yogi can tell you that. He says even if it is there. Bhoga darshan samarthyam. So you have the ability to experience them or see them. Both is possible. So that is called prakamya siddhi. And shakti prerana jiveshu swashakti sancharanam ishitanam siddhi. Then there is ishita siddhi, where you can infuse somebody by shaktis. People do shaktipat. You heard shaktipat? Touch the head, get 11,000 volt current by the. So that is ishita shakti. Can transfer power. Then guneshva sango vasita yat kamastad avashyati. Guneshva sanga vishaya bhoge api anasaktir vasita nam siddhi. So this is a siddhi where it says that you can have experience of the sense objects, but you don't develop any addiction, any attachment to them. You still remain renounced. Means the sense objects do not cause any influence on you. They do not create a samskara of enjoyment and which will trouble you later on. So that does not happen if you have the siddhi called Vashita. Then the eighth one, Yat kamaha yad yat sukham kamayate tat tad avasyati tasya simanam prapnoti iti ashtami kamvasaita nam siddhi. So this is the siddhi that whatever kama you want, kama here means happiness. So you can get that happiness to its ultimate limit. That is called kamvasaita siddhi. So these are the 8 siddhis, and Autpattika Swabhavika Nirati Sayascha. So Bhagavan says that these are naturally in me and they are also to their ultimate limit. Nobody has more than him. So these are 8 siddhi. These are the primary ones. Now the second group of siddhi, 10 secondary ones. Yes, Sandeep.
So I have actually 2 questions on this shloka. So first is this prapti. So prapti, you're saying that the object will not be there, but only it's like whatever you gave the example of Rasgulla. But I have come across a person, he went to somebody and he said, चलो आपको अफगानिस्तान से छुआरे खिलाते हैं. So he just put his hand and then these छुआरे were there in his hand. So he's got it. And I also heard for this Sai Baba. So one of his disciples went to, disciple of whatever, his follower or whatever, he went to him and he was a very important person. So he said, what would you want to have? He said, then some rare watch which is available in Switzerland, one of the shops, Swiss. He said, I want that watch. So he said, okay. In 10-15 minutes he got that watch for him. And when they checked up in that shop, because only one shop had that watch. So he said some person came with very long hair and he gave these chronos, whatever, Swiss chronos, and bought this watch on so and so date, whenever he gave it to him. So how this prapti, they are getting these things in physical from somewhere else or something.
So that is Siddhi, that is the meaning of Siddhi. What do you mean?
But you explained that like this, even this, although people say that it is not really true, but then this Sai Baba was just putting his hand in the air and getting his ash.
Anyway, I don't know. But the point is that these siddhis are there, whether somebody has or not, that is a separate story. But they exist. Siddhis exist. They are described in so many scriptures here in Bhāgavatam, in the Yoga Sutras, also Sankhya Karika, Sankhya Sutra. So many places. So this is one type of, that's what I'm saying, this is one type of prapti which is described here. Prapti can be various types.
Okay.
I also saw one guy like that. One sadhu came here in an ashram many years ago. So we used to have one manager here and he was living with us. You remember that, what was his name? Forget the name. Anyway, he was in his room and he called me, oh, there is some sadhu, he has some power. So I went. So he did, when I went, he just moved his hand and gave me one piece of sweet and 100 rupees. So I was thinking, what is he doing? So I asked him, can you do it again? So he was a little hesitant, but he did it. So I said, but this sweet was this barfi, It was old, not fresh. So I said, but this is not fresh, why don't you give me fresh one? So, like if you keep a barfi for a few days, it becomes dry and hard, When you get it fresh, it's very soft. So then he could not do it. Then he asked me that he knew that some foreigners are here. So he says, call one foreigner, because he wanted to impress. So I called one devotee, he came. So he did the same thing to him. So the devotee was very smart. He says, can you give me $1? So now he got caught. Because $1 he cannot give. So, and then when I was leaving, then he says, give my money back. I says, why? So he basically accepted that it was just a trick, There's nothing. But if the magician does it, we know he is a magician. But if you put on sadhu dress and you do it, then people get impressed that you have siddhi, because siddhis are described. So it's very difficult, somebody has or not has, unless you are good at it and you can catch somebody that, this is just a trick. There's nothing in it. So some people have, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but who has, who does not have, that you have to check.
So the other question was about this tantra. So the tantra, they also have, these tantrics, they also have siddhi. So they are separate from this tantric siddhis.
Separate means what?
Separate in the sense, now one incident, which is again a real incident. So one rich person, he lost his gold, quite a lot of gold. So he was not able to find, he put a complaint, etc. Then he went to a tantric. So he told, the tantric told him, okay, you go to the cremation ground, get me this, whatever, he got it. Then he put that, he made a paste out of it and put it on his nail. And on that, that he could show him the video, like who stole. So one of his very trusted chap had stolen, and he had converted into these doorknobs. So that is how he caught that person like this gold. So this is
Yeah,
this
so those are,
doesn't fit in.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are various types of siddhis. This is not the end of it. And those are very small siddhis. Those are not some big siddhis. If you do sadhana for about a month or 40 days, you can also get that. There are processes for that. But doing sadhana for 40 days is also not easy for people. You have to actually do it properly under the guidance. So anyway, so now he describes the 10 secondary ones. Anurmimatvam dehesmin dura shravana darshanam मनोजव कामरूपम परकाय प्रवेशनम स्वच्छंद मृत्युर देवानां सह क्रीडानुदर्शनम यथा संकल्प संसिद्धिर आज्ञा प्रतिहता गतिः त्रिकालगत्यमदन्द्वं परिचित्ताद्यभिज्ञता अग्निर्काम्बु विषादीनां प्रतिष्टम्भो पराजयः. So now these are more siddhis, although he only said 10, but there are 14 which he lists here. So the first one is Anurmi Matvam. So Urmi means the disturbances of the mind generally by hunger, thirst, etc. So one is not disturbed by them. That is Anurmi Matvam, Dehasmin in this body. Then Dura Shravana Darshanam. So seeing things which are far away or hearing things which are far away. So this is many times people have this, especially these mediums. They see things and they tell in your house thing is like this or it is like that. Then Manojavaha, you can move at the speed of mind. Java means speed. Kamarupam, you can change your form, take any form. So all these Rakshasas also have this form. We read how Putana became beautiful. Or many of these Asuras coming to kill Krishna, they will take a particular form. They were not actually like that. So this is also, Rakshasas also have siddhis. So Kamarupam. And Parakaya Praveshnam, entering into others' body. Now ghosts have this naturally, ghost can enter into somebody's body. So yogi can also enter into somebody. There's a story about Shankaracharya when he had the debate with Mandan Mishra's wife Bharati. So he entered into some king's body. And Swachanda Mrityu, you also have control over your death. You can die when you want to. Like Bhishma had. Swacha Mrityu. And Devanam Saha Kridanu Darshanam. You can also see the Devas in heaven, how they are enjoying, how they are playing Apsaras. So you can see their Leela just sitting here like a television. So they have reality show these days. So you can have the reality show of heaven. And Yatha Sankalpa Sansiddhi. So Yatha Sankalpa Sansiddhi means that you can have your desire fulfilled as you like. And Agya Prati Hatagati. So your order is not defied. You order somebody, they have to do it. So in Tantra also they have this, some of these, these days Vasikaran is very popular. Vasikaran is one of the very common Tantra Siddhi. And Trikalagyattvam. So Trikalagya means you know the past, present and future. And Advandvam, being free from the duality, means heat, cold, etc. do not bother you. Parchittadi abhigyata. You can read others' mind. So some people also have this naturally, they can just understand what is going on in others' mind. And then the last one is Agni Arkambu Vishadinam Pratistambho Aparaj. No, Aparaja, there is 15th also. So you are able to counteract fire or sun, water or poison, the effect of poison. Pratistambha. And Aparajaya, you remain unconquerable. Nobody can defeat you. So these are also yogic siddhis. Gunanubandhana das siddhiraha. So he now describes the 10 siddhis which are coming from the gunaja prakriti. So there are actually 15, although he said 10. Anurmi matvam, so not having urmi, kshut pipasadvi sadurmi rahityam. So becoming free from hunger, thirst, old age, disease, etc. Dur Shravanam Darshanam iti Dura Darshanam. So Doordarshan, these days TV is called Doordarshan. That's why they gave name Doordarshan. Television actually means Doordarshan. Tele means Dur, vision means seeing. So previously yogis only have this, now everybody has. If you have an internet, you have a Doordarshan. You can see things from any part of the world. You have a phone, you can dial, video call. That's Doordarshan and Doorshravanam. So science has made this siddhi possible now even for common people. People have to work hard to have this, now you can just go and buy it. That is the difference between science and dharma. In dharma you have to work yourself, science works for you. You just pay. You can get. So Doordarshanam and Doorshravanam, they are actually two siddhis, but they have been clubbed together. So iti eke eva iti anya. Manojavaha manovegena dehasya gati. So you can manifest. You hear many times this story that this sadhu was seen, like we hear this type of story about Neem Karoli Baba, that he was there and he was here also, and we heard him there and we saw him there. Heard like stories like this about Śrīpad Baba was there here in Vrindavan. I don't know if you heard about him or not. So about him also I heard these stories. He used to live there. There's an ashram, this Jaipur Mandir. So this is Manojava Manovegena Dehasya Gati. Kam Rupam, Kamit Rupa Prapti. So Kam Rupa is having any form you like. Apsarobhi sah devanayam ya kirda tasam anudarshanam prapti. So the devas who are having their pastime with the apsaras, their play, you can also watch it. Yatha sankalp sansiddhi sankalpit padarth prapti. So sankalpit padarth prapti means that you can get the object which you desire. So this is also a type of prapti which Sandeep was saying, that Sai Baba got the watch. So iyam kinchit kaikadi prayatna sapeksha iti kamavasayitato bheda kalpya. Now in kamavasayita also it was mentioned that you can get things as you desire. So he says there is a little difference in case of this siddhi, sankalp siddhi, you have to do something with your body physically. In kamavasayita you don't have to do, just think and it happens. Apratihita agya gatischaiti eka eva siddhi. So apratihita agya means that your order is not disobeyed. And apratihita gati means that no one can stop you if you want to go somewhere. So these can be seen as two or just as one. Apratihita agyatvam, apratihat gatitvam iti dve siddhi. So just some say these are two separate ones, some say it is only one. So these are the 10 siddhis which he mentioned. Then after that he also speak of 5 more which are Kshudra siddhis, says, like not very great siddhis. There are various types of siddhis. Very small siddhis are also there. Like this Vasikaran is a very small siddhi, because he just applied it on one person, it happened. So 5 are described. Trikalagyattvam. So Trikalagya, we know that you can know past, present and future. Advandvam, Sitoshnadi Anibhavavam. So you don't feel hot when it is hot, so no AC is needed. And you don't feel cold when it is cold. So you can sit without any sweater when it is snowing outside. You don't feel it. And Agni Adinam Stambhanam. So Agni Adinam Stambhanam means fire is burning. You can use your siddhi. Fire will keep on burning, but it will not heat. This is called Agni Stambhanam. This used to be a very common thing in the villages previously. Some people knew the Agni Bandhan. So then you are cooking, like some big feast is going on, they will bind it and you go on cooking, doesn't get cooked. Then they realize that somebody has did something, then they search who has done it. So people used to do these types of things. So similarly, water, fire, also poison. एतश्च उद्देश्य प्रोक्ता योग धारण सिद्धया यया धारणया या स्याद यथा वा स्यान् निबोध मे. So Sri Krishna says that this I have only given you the list. But Uddhava's question was that which siddhi is attained by which meditation and what does it do? So he says, I will explain that to you now. Etacha Uddesh. So, what is the 3 characteristics of Nyaya Shastra? Uddesh, Lakshan, Pariksha. This is the word which is used here. Etacha Uddeshta Prokta. That I have just listed it now. Now I will tell you. Yoga Dharana Siddhaya Yaya Dharanaya Yasyat. By which type of meditation you will have which type of siddhi, yathava syar nibodha, and how you will get it. Know this from me. So, no commentary on this. Bhut sukshma atmani mai tanmatram dharyen manaha animanam vapnoti tanmatra upasako mama. So first siddhi was anima. So now he explains how you get anima siddhi. So he says that if you meditate on me, so here Krishna will speak always of meditating on him, but not that kind of meditation which was given before, that he has 4 hands and he has lotus eyes and he has makar kundal and this and that. But now this is a separate meditation. So if you meditate on me as tanmatra, so you know tanmatras are 5: Prakriti, Mahat Tattva, Ahankar, then tanmatra. So Bhut Sukshma means the subtle elements from which you can the Mahabhutas. So those considering me as tanmatra, means I am actually made of tanmatra. Bhut sukshmatmani mai tanmatram dhariyen mane, and meditate on me. So animanam avapnoti mama tanmatra upasaka. So this person who is meditating on tanmatra, means my form as tanmatra, so he will attain anima. Because tanmatras are what? Tanmatra is just the causal element. Means the elements manifest from tanmatra. Just like in Nyaya, the elements come from the atoms. And atoms are indivisible, the smallest. You cannot break them further. So it is tanmatra is something like that. So from that you come. So if you meditate on that, then you will get the siddhi to become tanmatra. You become what you think of, right? So you meditate on tanmatra, you will also become tanmatra. So if you want to become small, then think of tanmatra, become small. If you have attained perfection, that's how it works. Once you have attained that perfection, then if you want to use it, then you have to think like that. Then it will become manifest.
In Yoga Sutra, when they describe all this, they will go from Dravya to Tanmatra, Ahankara, one by one like this. So, but there they don't mention to see Ishvara like that. They just mention, and still those siddhis are coming. So
That's why those are Mayiki.
oh, okay, so this what he is describing is Swarupa,
Yeah.
Swarupa Shakti Siddhi.
He said,
Yeah, I got it.
Vishwanath Chakravarti said that there are two divisions. So you can also get them. So bhut sukshmama atmani bhut sukshma upadho mai. So Krishna says that meditate on me and bhut sukshma upadhi. I am the upadhi of the bhut sukshma. Tanmatram bhut sukshma karam. So mind also you have to make like tanmatra. Sam tanmatra upasaka. So this person is called tanmatra upasaka or worshipper of tanmatra. Mama madiyam animanam paramam eva akartam siddhim. So he says then one will attain my anima siddhi. Because Bhagavan Krishna, he has anima siddhi naturally. And this anima comes by meditating on tanmatra. So if you meditate on Krishna as the having tanmatra upadhi, then you will get tanmatra of his tanmatra. Means you will get anima from him. So this anima siddhi will be his. By his grace it will come. So this will be separate than if you just meditate on tanmatra. So then he says, then you cannot become small. Yes, Srilam api praveshtum shaknoti. So you will become so small that you can also enter stone piece. You can cross through the wall. Nothing can obstruct you. Because you become so small and there is a space. Like molecules are there, atoms are there, and there is space, so you just pass through that. And the atom is not going to, electron will not ask you, what are you doing here? This is my field. Because you just, by the time you come, you are gone. So, mahatyatman mayi pare yatha sanstha mano dadhat mahimanam vapnoti bhutanam cha prathak prathak. Similarly, if you meditate on Krishna as Mahat means Mahat Tattva, big size. So then thinking of him having that body of that size of Mahata, then you will attain Mahima. Mahimanam avapnoti. So this is how you get Mahima. And then he says, Bhutanam cha prathak prathak. He says, similarly, you can also meditate on separate elements, which is also described in the Yoga Sutra. So you can meditate on the Panch Mahabhutas or their various Tanmatras. If you meditate on Arth Tanmatra, you will have a lot of smell, nice. Punya Gandha Prithivyam cha. So you will have Punya Gandha. Meditate on water, then Rasa. And Vayu, you will have pleasant touch. Fire, you can have nice scenery, colors. So all this meditation is also there. So Mahati Atmani Gyan Shakti Mahat Tattva Upadho. So he says this is the Mahat Tattva, which is the Gyan Shakti. So there is Kriya Shakti, Gyan Shakti. So Kriya Shakti is Sutra, Gyan Shakti is Mahat. So this is that Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva Upadho Mai. So we're meditating on Krishna. Yatha Sanstham Mahat Tattva Akaram. But seeing him as the size of Mahat Tattva. Mahimanam Param Maha Mahadakarta Yaya Sarvamapi Vyaptum Saknoti. So you can be all pervading. Everywhere you can be present. Bhutanam Chaiti. You can also meditate on the Mahabhutas. Akashadi Bhutopadau cha Mai Mano Dhariyan Tattadrupam Mahimanam Prapnoti. So you can also meditate on Akasha, then you will become like Akasha. So these are various types of meditations. And then he will describe the remaining tomorrow. Naji.
Pranam Babaji. I had a question about the correspondence between the Mayaka cities versus the cities based in the Sarupa Shakti, and how that corresponds to the list of 8 and the list of 10. Was one corresponding to one, or is it more complicated than that?
No, one correspond to one means I didn't get your question.
Like, was it that we had the list of 8 cities and the list of 10? Was it that the list of 8 cities were all based in the Sarupa Shakti?
No, they can be both. They can be both.
Okay.
8 siddhis can be Swarup Shakti, also they can be material.
Okay, and the same for the 10.
Yeah.
Okay, it just depends on how the practitioner acquired them, whether they're acquired through bhakti or through like an independent mayaka process.
Right.
Okay.
Anupam.
Babaji, could you please explain the meaning of this Tuksham Atmani Tanmatram clearly, please, once again? How, on what exactly is Krishna telling Uddhav to meditate? I'm not telling him on what one should meditate to attain that kind of siddhi.
So meditate on Tanmatra, or think of Tanmatra as Krishna.
And what exactly is meant by Tanmatras? Could you please explain once again? I could not grasp that.
You have studied Sankhya or not?
Studied what, Babaji? For what?
So Tanmatras are which come before the Panch Mahabhutas are generated. Like from Ahankara in Tamas comes Shabd Tanmatra. And then from Shabd Tanmatra comes Akasha, from Akasha comes Shabda. And then from that comes Vayu Tanmatra, and then from that comes Vayu, and then comes sense of touch. So this is the process. There are Tanmatras for each Mahabhuta. They are called Bhut Sukshma, that's why he's using the word Bhut Sukshma.
Yeah, so this Rupras, Gan, Shabd, Sparsh, these are 5 Tanmatras, right? And they are the cause of 5 Mahabhutas.
Yes.
Right.
Sandeep.
Babaji Maharaj, this sutra, here I think this point came about sutra, so I think you explained it is Mahatattva, but here it is looking to be little, Mahatattva has two parts. Like this last shloka commentary, you said Kriya Shakti is sutra and Gyan Shakti is Mahat.
Yeah.
So Mahatattva is basically in two reasons.
No, there one is called Mahatattva, other is called Sutra. So Sutra is Kriya Shakti and Mahatattva is Gyan Shakti. It's like you have Gyanendriya. You have Gyanendriya and you have Karmendriya. Now you say, what exactly is it? Gyanendriya is by which you have cognition. Karmendriya is by what you do. So same way, Kriya Shakti is by what you act. Gyan Shakti is by what you know. Okay, Hari Bharose.
Pranam Babaji. Babaji, very wondrous qualities Krishna has described here, very attractive. Anything practical for a bhakti margi here, or they're just simply aimed at the mumukshu?
Yeah, there is
aspect
practical, yes. The practical is that you understand them and don't think about them.
Okay. Thank you.
Simple.
Yeah, but they're just very wondrous to hear and glorious that Krishna has all them. So thank you very much, Babaji. I appreciate this simple answer.
Vilas.
Babaji, I think I'm already not following your instruction you just gave. So let's say I'm curious. I wonder how it's possible to think of a tanmatra because it has no form, it has no qualities. Is it just a name? Is it through mantra? Or how do these people do their sadhana? Do they know anything about it?
Yeah, this is obviously, if you have not done any meditation, then this is difficult to understand. It's like if I ask you, can you observe your mind? People ask, observe your mind. How do you observe your mind? Is it something which you can observe? But still, you hear this. So these are subtle things, and when you meditate, then you can go from gross to subtle, and you can actually fix your mind. That means you have to make your mind. That's why it says, you read here, it says, tanmatram mana dharyet. Your mind also has to go to the level of tanmatra to meditate on. So means your mind has become so sharp that it can meditate on tanmatra. If our mind is not sharp like that, then we are unable to meditate on even gross things. So running here and there. So mind has a lot of capacity, and there are so many. These are basically all capacities which manifest by mind only, by meditation. Later on he will speak this, that they are all coming from Prakriti, mind. So mind has got a lot of powers if it is utilized. But most of us are not trained in that, so it sounds very strange that such a thing is possible. It's like if I tell you that Malti can bend a spoon, you will say, how is it possible? How can you bend a spoon? By thinking? Sounds strange, right? Or how can you move things? Just by thinking you can move things. So they are strange things, but they do happen. At least some have experience of it, others may say, no, I don't believe in it, fine. But then there are others who experience it, so you cannot deny their experience.
I think you mentioned that if we do 40 days of sadhana, we can get some siddhis.
Yeah.
What's the 40 days exactly? What do you have to do?
What do you have to do?
Yeah.
There's a process.
What is that?
You want to know it here only? What is that?
I mean, it's very detailed?
Yes.
Okay.
You cannot do it.
Okay.
Your body is not suitable for that.
Babaji, in the beginning of Uddhava Gita, Krishna spoke about 3 paths, karma, jnana and bhakti. And then we hear about yoga. So I understand that yoga somehow fits within the jnana marg. But I'm still not very clear what is the prayojana of the yogis, because according to Yoga Sutra, it's
Moksha.
Moksha and the asampragyata samadhi. And then they meditate on Ishvara just as a means to attain this moksha.
Yeah.
But then in the beginning of today's class, you also said that some yogis meditate on something material. Did you mean some material objects,
Yeah.
or?
Yeah.
So their prayojana is not,
Meditate on light.
while still keeping in mind that the prayojana is moksha.
Yeah.
And I used to hear from some unverified sources that some yogis meditate on Ishvara and then they attain Shanta, position of Shanta. Is it possible, or is it something?
No, that is, you see, meditation you can attain. You have to first fix what is your purpose of meditation. Meditation is one thing and attaining goal is your prayojana, for what are you doing it. So the result comes according to your sankalpa. It's called yathakritu nyaya. So if you are meditating with the sankalpa that I want moksha, you will only get moksha. But then the others who meditate and they want moksha means going to Vaikuntha, not Brahma-sayuja. So if your goal is, because one principle we have learned again and again which comes in Bhāgavatam, that without bhakti you cannot get Brahma-sayuja also. So they do bhakti to get Brahma-sayuja. They don't want santras or anything. Then there are others who want not Brahma-sayuja, but they want Salokya Mukti. So they will go there.
And will this meditation fall into the category